Hello, I'm Debbie Osborne. I'm a lawyer in Atlanta and I work with a lot of camping programs. And I advise a lot on the topic that we're going to discuss today, which is child protection policies in your program. So this is, if you have any questions after this, feel free to call me at or email me. Email is usually the best place to get a hold of me. We're only going to be hitting the high points today of just a couple of areas. So if you need recommendations of programs or have any questions, feel free to give any of us at Taylor English a call. The areas that I want to talk about today are two specific problem areas that I've seen that come up most often. One is bullying. We don't think of that as a child protection policy, but bullying is, and boundaries that we enforce between campers and staff. So the first area is of bullying, and you just need to think about this in terms of camper-on-camper interactions. Statistically, children actually victimize each other much more often than staff members will victimize them. So we need to pay attention to this, and it can come out in physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, of course. It all sort of falls under the category of bullying. Now, I will say one thing we need to be careful about is bullying is different from conflict. There is a tendency for children to think that whenever their feelings are hurt, they are being bullied. And part of that is because it's a complicated concept, and particularly younger children don't really have the cognitive ability to understand complicated concepts. As they get older, they can start understanding, and we can start working with them, that just because their feelings are hurt doesn't mean that they're being bullied. Sometimes their feelings are being hurt because they need to change something, and they can change something and develop a character virtue. And sometimes the hurt feelings are the motivation that we need to become better people. So we need to make that distinction for the children. We don't want any child to feel bullied because of something they cannot change. But if they are obnoxious or self-aggrandizing or any number of other things that will cause people to dislike them and isolate themselves from them, then we really need to help the child develop better character virtues so that they will be happier and they will have more friends. The other area you need to look at is there's online bullying and there is in-person bullying. Different programs have different rules. You just need to decide, do you want to try to control the online and off-campus contact that your campers have with each other, or do you want to just limit it to what they do when they're within your supervision and custody and control? Whatever you decide, make it clear in all of your parent handbooks and all of the contracts that the parents sign where your responsibility for your child, for their child ends and where theirs picks up. I don't know of any state laws requiring you to pay attention to off-campus contact. So it is simply your decision and an agreement that you have with the parents. The next area is boundaries, and this is more staff on camper contact. Again, one problem area that you need to address is off-campus contact. Once the camper leaves your program, or if you're a day camp, once they leave for the day, what contact can your staff members have with them? And this includes babysitting, which many parents like to use camp counselors for babysitters. It includes social media contacts. Can they follow each other on Facebook or TikTok or any Instagram? Again, there's no bad answer here, except I will say the one bad answer is to prohibit something that you cannot police or control. So if you don't have any way of keeping up with what's going on and you don't have time to keep up with what's going on, then don't have a rule that you cannot enforce. Other than that, simply make your own decisions, and again, make it clear with the campers, make it clear with the staff, and above all, make it clear with the parents what rules you have and which ones you are going to enforce. Screening and supervision is another area. We all know about background checks for staff. Don't forget background checks for volunteers. There is also a question, sometimes people will say it very broadly and say a background check for every adult who comes in contact with children. That's a problem if you have a parents' day when parents are coming in and there's simply no logical way for you to get parents to do a background check before they come on your campus. So you need to solve that with supervision. Make sure that when you have contractors on campus, when you have repair people, anyone that it's not practical for you to get a background check for, make sure that you have them or the campers properly supervised at all times. One other problem area is mentoring, because we've become so paranoid about grooming and how people can groom children for sexual abuse. And the signals of grooming involve setting up this particular relationship, spending a lot of time with a child, and making an emotional connection with them. Those signals also are signs of a good mentor. So to some degree, we have hurt ourselves by hurting our mentoring program by being so concerned about grooming and sexual abuse. Of course, we need to be concerned about that, but we need to not throw out the mentoring possibilities, because for children who suffer trauma, one of the most important things they can have to recover from that trauma is having an adult outside their family, a mentor that they can work with. So the dividing line between mentoring and grooming seems to be dividing lines. You need to set up clear boundaries about what is acceptable, and make sure that your staff is not pushing those boundaries, that they are not sneaking around and having secret relationships with these kids, that whatever conversations they have with the kids are able to be viewed by you, by their parents, by someone else if necessary, so that the boundaries are very clear between a healthy relationship and a secretive, stealthy, overly friendly relationship. Again, these are all very complicated concepts. I've just hit the high points. We have a student protection policy self-assessment. I should probably call it a camper protection policy self-assessment for you. You can download it from our website here at this, use this tiny URL to get to it, or you can email me and we'll be glad to send it to you and tell you where else to look. So again, this is my contact information. Our blog, Youth Services Law, has a lot of information on it about child protection policies. And feel free to call us if there is anything we can help you with. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your spending this time with us. Call us if we can help, and have a wonderful camping season.